வெரி குட் சார். சார் என்ன ஆடிபிளா இருக்குல்ல சார்?
ஆடிபிளா இருக்கு சார், ஆடிபிளா இருக்கு சார்.
தேங்க்யூ.
எஸ் சார். லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீமிங் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுதுங்க சார்.
தினேஷ் சார், மேடம் மெயில் ஐடி இருக்கு உங்க வாட்ஸ்அப்ல.
ஓகேங்க சார். மேமுக்கு அனுப்பிட்டேங்க சார்.
நான் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிடுறேன் சார். அவங்க வாட்ஸ்அப்புக்கு அனுப்பிடுங்க சார். அந்த sir, she will join the next 2 minutes, sir.
request join பண்றாங்க.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Samsung SMA, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam.
Good
Yes.
morning, madam. Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Welcome, madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning. Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Good morning, ma'am.
Madam. Samsung SMA, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam.
Good
Yes.
morning, madam. Good morning, madam. Madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir. Yes, sir. Morning, ma'am. Morning. Good morning, sir. Am I audible? Good morning, ma'am.
Samsung SMA, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, madam. Madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir. Yes, sir. Morning, ma'am.
Sir, we can start, sir.
Morning, sir. Am I audible? Good morning, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Balasubramaniam, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can start, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning to one and all present here for the Genetic Talk series on importance of communication skills to engineering students. Strong communication ability links knowledge with achievement, empowering students to express ideas with clarity,
We can start,
work
sir.
in teams,
Yes, sir.
and
Started,
thrive
sir.
constantly in both academic and professional spheres. Begin the day's proceedings. May I now invite Dr. N. Balasubramanian, Head, Department of Science and Humanities, RMK Engineering.
Yes, madam.
Madam,
Madam, you
Yes.
are audible.
Yes,
you are
sir.
not
Yes.
audible.
Yes.
Rubita,
So-
madam.
May I now invite Dr. N. Balasubramanian, Head, Department of Science and Humanities, RMK Engineering College, a person who inspires us with dedication and vision to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the management, principal, faculty, and students, I extend a warm welcome to our speaker, Srimati Venkatalakshmi, Professor and Head, Department of English, Anna University. We are deeply grateful to Madam for her generosity in taking the time to deliver a session to all of you on this Sunday. Communication skills are crucial for engineering students because a lot of their work involves more than just technical expertise. I would like to break down the importance into 4 aspects: teamwork and collaboration. Engineering projects are rarely solo efforts. Students need to effectively communicate with peers to share ideas, divide tasks, and solve problems together. Presenting ideas. Engineers often have to explain complex technical concepts to non-technical audiences like managers, clients, or stakeholders. Clear presentations and reports are essential for getting approval and securing resources for projects. Third one, problem solving. When a project hits a snag, strong communication helps teams discuss issues, brainstorm solutions, and make decisions efficiently, preventing delays and misunderstandings. Number 4, career advancement. Employers highly value communication skills. During interviews, presentations, and daily work, an engineer who can articulate their thoughts and listen actively is more likely to be seen as a leader and is often the first to be promoted. Hence, we thought that a session on the importance of communication had to be conducted for our students by a highly experienced professional. Madam readily agreed to do so. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious words of welcome. Thank you so much. Passion transforms aspirations into achievements and dreams into realities. We are fortunate to have such an inspiring personality amongst us, Dr. K. Mohammad Junaid, Principal, RMK Engineering College. Sir, may I now invite you to address the gathering? Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. The most respected chief guest of today's generic talk series, Dr. T. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi, Professor and Head, Department of English, Anna University. Beloved HOD of Science and Humanities Department, Dr. Balasubramaniam sir, all the faculty members, parents, and my dear students. A very warm welcome and good morning to one and all. It's my great pleasure to felicitate our distinguished speaker, Dr. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi, Madam, from Anna University, who has kindly accepted our invitation to deliver a talk on the importance of communication skills to engineering students under Generic Talk Series 29. On behalf of our respected Chairman Sir, Vice Chairman Sir, Director Sir, Secretary Sir, all the members of the management, faculty members, students of RMK Engineering College, and my own behalf, I wholeheartedly thank and welcome Dr. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi Madam for kindly accepting our invitation to deliver this generic talk series for the benefit of students and all the viewers, which is going to be streamed through our RMK YouTube channel. Thank you, madam. Welcome, madam. At RMK Engineering College, we strongly believe that with the technical excellence in all the engineering programs, the power to communicate effectively is equally important. The communication bridges the gap between the knowledge and action, between innovation and impact. Today's session definitely going to be a very, very useful one, and it is going to provide a lot of success in the career, not only in academics and also with respect to their successful placement and also career settlement. And life is deeply connected to how well we express our ideas and connect with people and collaborate in teams. So I would like to thank Dr. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi Madam. She is a renowned academician and an inspiring teacher whose dedication to develop communication skills in young minds is everlasting marks on thousands of students. Her presence with us today is a great privilege, and I'm very much sure that her insights will enlighten and motivate all of our students. So once again, on behalf of management, faculty, and students, I extend my heartfelt gratitude, thanks to you, madam, for joining us today and enriching this event with your experience and expertise. I would like to appreciate and congratulate all the faculty members of Science and Humanities Department under the eminent leadership of Dr. Balasubramaniam sir for organizing this generic talk series event by bringing eminent personality from Anna University for the benefit of all the students and also all the viewers of this particular event, which is going to be telecasted through our RMK YouTube channel. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. An event like this is incomplete without acknowledging the presence of the eminent personalities who guide us. May I now invite Ms. R. Jayalakshmi, Assistant Professor in English, Department of Science and Humanities, to introduce our distinguished resource person of the day. Please, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. T. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi, who is currently serving as the head of the Department of English, College of Engineering, India, Anna University, Chennai. Dr. Venkata Lakshmi has been part of this prestigious university for the past 30 years, beginning the academic journey in the year 1995 as a lecturer, and through dedication and excellence, rising to the position of professor and head of the department. Her academic expertise lies in the field of language testing, with a special focus on learners with limited proficiency in English. Over the years, she has contributed significantly to research in this specialized area. She has guided 17 PhD scholars to successful completion and is currently mentoring 8 researcher scholars, nurturing the next generation of researchers in English language studies. A seasoned academician, an inspiring teacher, and a committed researcher, Dr. T. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi stands as a shining example of excellence in higher education. We are truly privileged to have her with us today as our chief guest. and we look forward to her words of wisdom and inspiration. With these words, I now invite Dr. Srimati Venkatalakshmi to take this session forward. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. A very good morning to everyone present here. I'd like to begin by thanking the principal of RMK Engineering College, Professor Junaid Mohammed, the head of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Professor Dr. Balasubramaniam, the physics head of the department, Professor Nixon, who was the first person to call me and invite me, all the teachers in the Department of English, particularly Dr. Ravi Kumar, who has been a good friend of mine over the years, and all the students and everyone who's joined the session today, and mostly the management of RMK Engineering College. It is always a pleasure to be able to interact with one of the most prestigious private institutions in the state. I've had the privilege of visiting the campus a couple of occasions, and I've always carried back with me pleasant memories, not just of the hospitality, but also of the kind of work that the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences is putting in here. Well, for the talk today, I think I'm going to begin with what Professor Balasubramaniam has said. Well, he has said something that is very significant. And as students of, engineering and technology in the first semester, he has highlighted the new directions that the teaching of English is taking, the new directions that are happening in the field of English language teaching, not just in India, but worldwide. Today, we are looking at language skills more in terms of life skills. And so we are looking at some of the related skills that people feel that language courses and language teachers alone can give their students, particularly students of engineering and technology, things like working in teams, participating effectively in group discussions, being able to send out effective emails, write good memos, then write good minutes of the meeting, write winning project proposals, and most important of all, to be able to successfully attend interviews and get the jobs that students wish. So it's not solely restricted to teaching of English grammar, English vocabulary, speaking, listening, reading, and writing. It's more broad-based today, and which is a welcome change. And I think as English language teachers, we must quickly, equip ourselves to pass on some of these very important skills for our learners of engineering and technology. I'd like to begin by wishing all the young students who are here in the group, I'd like to begin by congratulating them on their achievement and of having joined a premier institution such as RMK Engineering College. Well, for today, I have divided my talk into 3 main sections. One, I'd like to begin by trying to decode what that word communication means. 2, what do we mean by communicating in a language that is, in a sense, alien to our country? And 3, what are some of the ways in which we can pick up this language, particularly if we are from mother tongue medium institutions, whether we are from Telugu medium or from Tamil medium? How can I, within the 4 years, become an effective communicator in English, so I can get the job I want? If I wish to study further, then either in institutions like IITs, or if I wish to go abroad, I want to do my PhD, I want to write my GATE exam, whatever it is that I wish to do. I wish to join the civil services, whatever it is. What should I do? What are some of the ways in which within 4 years I can pick up the language in easy ways while I'm still navigating my my path as an as an engineering or as an engineer or a technologist. Well, to begin with, all of us will have some ideas about what is communication. And somewhere along the way, I think we have wrongly associated that word communication only to a language like English, not understanding this very important aspect that communication is communication in the sense when I wish to, and communication is not just language specific, anything is an act of communication, right? When your parents scold you, that's an act of communication. And communication happens through different mediums. You listen to songs and you're happy. You watch a movie and you learn something from it. So there are different ways in which people can communicate. That is one. Two, communication, as I said some time ago, is not just limited to a language like English. What we as English language teachers, I think, have failed to do both at school and at college is trying to help our learners transfer our skills in our mother tongues to learning a foreign language such as English. So this is a pointer for English language teachers. And for you learners, you must remember that having completed your 12th standard, whether it is in the mother tongue or whether it is in an English medium school, irrespective of the fact, what you must understand is that all of us are sophisticated users of the first language, that is our mother tongues. So when we are such effective communicators in our mother tongues, then I think it shouldn't be very difficult for us to be able to transfer those skills to a language like English or any foreign language. So what is communication? Like I said, communication is the act of transferring, of sharing. Okay, it could be anything. It could be sharing our feelings. It could be sharing our ideas. It could be sharing our thoughts. It could be sharing our opinions. Anything and everything would come under the act of communication. And research has shown that 75 to 80% of face-to-face communication is through body language. So anything that you all do from now on, yes, the way you dress, the importance that you give to your dress, to say that you give that importance to the, to the subject that you have chosen to specialize in, to the field that you have chosen to specialize in, the way you dress, the way you interact with your teachers, the way you carry yourself in college, everything is an act of communication. And when we are talking about communication, one thing that you all have to be very conscious of now that you all are, you'll come no longer under the group of what we call teenagers, but what we call young adults, and therefore the expectations are more. One thing that you all must understand is what is called register. In communication, there are two things that are very important. One is style, which is very personal, but register, which is very important. In any language, now, what is register in language? Now, when we communicate with people, how do we actually go about, let's say, the same piece of information you wish to convey to your teacher, to your friend, to your, to your family, to your parents, to your siblings, the same piece of information, when it is shared with different people with whom you share a different relationship, then the same information gets slightly modified. So from now on, communication is not what you think. Okay, communication is not what you want to say, but communication is always thinking about the other person who will receive it. Yes, whether it be through the written mode or through this or through speaking. So in traditional ways, teachers will say, please learn your manners when you speak. Yes, some of us these days, when we walk into classrooms, we don't know how to say, excuse me, ma'am or sir. We simply put out our hand and then we expect our teachers to let us in. Yes. So I think what we must understand is that when we talk about communication, it means that a same piece of information is modified depending upon our relationship with the person to whom we are sharing it with. Now, this will form the basis because from now on, like I said, it's your reader and your listener who are the most important people when you communicate, because you're always thinking of them when you actually participate in this act of communication. Now, this will become very crucial to you when you are sitting in a group and discussing things as part of an interview, when you are attending an interview, when you are sending out your job application to be shortlisted for the interview, when you sit down to write your final semester project report, at all these times, we are not thinking about ourselves. So when we talk about communication, communication has value only if the person who's listening to us can understand whatever it is that we are saying, and the person who's reading whatever it is that we have written can make sense of whatever it is that we are saying. So, what should we aim at to become good communicators in language? So, I said at the beginning that it's important we kind of, tap in on those skills that we have when we communicate in our mother tongues. So, when we speak our first languages, we always try and refine the message so we are very clear. There's always a structure when we are speaking. And we think these are, part of us. This is part of our DNA. It comes with me. When I was born, I had these things. But these are skills which are transferable to another language. So, because we've come to associate that word communication specifically with English, we think we have to learn to communicate very specifically when it comes to a language like English. No. Today, we are talking about communication, which means it is common across all languages. All languages expect us to work and to function in a particular way. And where do we get those skills from? Those skills, we'll have to go back and remind ourselves as to how we learned our first languages. So, what should we all be striving for when I say that from today, from now, the two most important people when you actually participate or you indulge in an act of communication is your listener and your reader. So aim for clarity and aim for coherence. Now, what is clarity? Now, clarity in speaking, research again has shown that Indians tend to speak English very fast because we speak our mother tongues very fast. So, how do I actually become clear? I must become clear. I will become clear to my listeners if I slow down. Professor Balasubramaniam, in the course of his talk, used that word articulate. What does articulate mean in Tamil? In Tamil, you have this word ucharippu. Ucharippu means articulation. And every sound in a language that is not my own has to be articulated clearly. So these sounds, when they are put together, they form words. And so by my listener, when he or she is listening to me, if these sounds are articulated clearly enough, then the person can pick up those sounds, make them into words, and then process the information that I'm giving him or her. So I must be clear at the level of speech. I must also be clear at the level of my ideas. Now, how can I achieve that clarity in terms of ideas? So I must have what is called coherence. What does coherence mean? Coherence means organization. If I must have organization in my speech and very specifically in my writing, then I must have what is called structure. And how do I get that structure or organization? I get it from planning. So from now, as young adults, when you open your mouths to speak, when you put down your thoughts on paper, when you're writing your English tests or your subjects, anything that you write from now on, think, okay? Thinking, of course, the technical term for that will be brainstorm, collect your ideas, plan, prioritize your ideas, and then start speaking or writing. Now, these are things that don't happen for an hour. They can happen within a matter of minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes. So never rush in to speak, okay? And certainly don't rush in to write. Think before you do, because when you do that, then you find that your speech and your writing has that greater clarity. And when we say it has clarity, it means it can be understood by your listeners and your readers. So that is communication. So don't ever say, I wish to be an effective communicator in English, like these are special skills that we have to acquire. Not at all. These are skills that we have to just learn to transfer from our mother tongues to the language, to a language such as English, or perhaps let's say if you're learning Japanese or German or French, Spanish, Mandarin, any language you choose to learn, the basis for that effective learning of a foreign language will have to begin with your mother tongue. So research has shown those people who are excellent with their mother tongues or their first languages are people who are also excellent in the languages that they choose to learn much later in their lives. Now, the second thing. So what constitutes when you say communication in English? Now, as engineers and technologists, what are the various instances which are the various instances when you will learn to when you will feel the need to be able to use English and to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to with English. So, like Professor Balasubramaniam pointed out, he said that you need to be able to. I would kind of have it as two broad categories. One is, I think we will continue to have English for a little more time, so we can succeed in our academic, sphere, and we also will perhaps need English to be able to display our knowledge in the interviews that we attend for a job. Now, in the academic setting, of course, today with the new educational policy, you have people are saying now engineering can be taught using Tamil, which is a wonderful thing. Medicine can be taught using the first language, which is a wonderful thing. But maybe those advanced books in your branches of engineering and technology continue to be in English. So for me to be able to succeed, for me to be able to understand engineering principles, for me to be able to operate as a good engineer, I will continue to need English, so long as books which are, excellent translations of those books on engineering and technology. So long as we don't have that resource, we will have to continue to say that we need to rely on English to be able to, learn well. So what should I be able to do? What are those important categories in English where I will be, where I will be needed to, pick up those special skills? As engineers, let's look at in speaking. What are the different types of speaking that I will be expected to do as an engineer? Of course, to begin with in classrooms, and I think it's very important. For a long time now, I think students have stopped asking questions in class. Somewhere, I think as teachers, we have effectively silenced our learners. So you need to be able to ask questions in class. And this, I think your English language teachers will teach you. You need to be able to ask questions. It is your right as a learner to be able to seek clarifications, to get your doubts cleared, okay, to be able to ask questions so you can, probe and see whether what you have thought about something that was taught to you in class is taking the right path or not. So how do I ask these questions? So I can ask these questions, but I must also understand that questions are only for me to be able to develop myself as a learner, but not to be able to challenge my teacher. So in the classroom setting, from your first semester onwards, you will need to be able to ask questions. Two, you will also perhaps as an engineering student be taught how to give instructions to people, how to make recommendations. Now, both instructions and recommendations are extremely useful for engineers, and they can be both in the instructions can be both in the oral and in the written form. Recommendations mostly in the written form. How do I actually now, after making these instructions and recommendations, how do I next then in the later semesters make effective presentations related to my subject? Then in the final semester, how do I attend those project vivas? How do I keep informing my project supervisor of the progress that I am making in my project? Then if I'm making a research paper, or if I've created a product, how do I actually present the product? How do I speak about that product? Okay, these are some of the things that you will need to be able to do so far as speaking is concerned in English. And of course, the all-important interview at in the final semester. So far as writing is concerned, the progress is fairly slow. You'll begin to learn how to write essays, and then you'll begin to learn how to write argumentative essays, issue-based essays, which are important for your GRE. Then you'll be taught how to write formal letters. You'll be taught how to write your job application, how to make it a soft copy, how for you to be able to design, an effective resume, how to be able to write a report, not necessarily a project report, but also perhaps an accident report, a survey report. And then how should I able, so some rudiments about what is a project proposal, and then, like I said, recommendations, how do I actually put down a checklist? So these are some things that you will begin to, do in writing as part of your course. But these are, quite basic things. Now, we may say they are basic things, but the basis of all of this would be choice of vocabulary, good vocabulary, and of course, correct grammar. As engineering students in the age of AI, I would encourage you to be able to use things like, Grammarly. So you can always check to see whether what you have written is right or wrong. But I would certainly not encourage you to use ChatGPT. Of course, you all will use ChatGPT, but I would request you not to become overly dependent on ChatGPT, because after all, what ChatGPT does is to make a quick search or whatever is there in Google and present it to you. So you may not be very, you can never be sure whether the information given there is correct or whether the language sometimes is correct. So stick to Grammarly, because it can give you good suggestions about whether your grammar is correct, whether whatever you have written is coherent. Okay. So far as language in college is concerned, these are some things for which you will need to use. But at the beginning of my talk, I was telling you that it's important that English language teachers tell their students about the need to be able to, participate in group discussions, and then to make effective presentations, so on and so forth. Now, how will you learn it as part of your college? Of course, as part of your English language classes, they will teach you what is called communication. And under communication, they will tell you what is called assertive versus aggressive communication. Now, this is a skill that would become extremely essential when you're participating in a group discussion, because in a group discussion, people will assess two major skills, that you have. One is your ability to communicate in a language, and your ability to perform a range of functions in the language when you're participating in a group discussion. Because the person who's observing you will be looking at your ability to negotiate, at your ability to agree, to disagree, to simplify information, to be able to exemplify information, to be able to substantiate information, to be able to provide evidence for whatever it is that you're saying, to be able to add to what people are saying. So you'll perform a range of language functions. More importantly, they will be also looking at your ability to have what is called people skills. So when we say that in a team you need to be an effective collaborator, in a group discussion too, you need to be able to act empathetically. Now, so what is then assertive? Assertive communication is to be able to speak your mind, but without hurting somebody else and without effectively putting an end to somebody else communicating. So people skills are the skills where you can encourage somebody, you can you can encourage somebody, you can give someone the confidence to be able to participate. You are aware of conventions such as turn taking and turn giving. All these are evidences that you are a person who can work as a team, that you are a leader, that you can lead, you can take the lead, but you are a leader, be able to take along other people with you as well. So all of these skills will be shown. So when I say that you need to be able to develop not just language skills, because today interviewers perhaps are not just looking out at our ability to speak in English, but they're also looking at our ability to be able to participate effectively in teams, work together in teams, collaborate, not dominate, not have that domineering attitude, not to develop that kind of arrogance. So all of these things, people are watching us closely. So when we say there are certain things that we need to be able to do by knowing English, it is very important that we also be able to use that language to be able to show that we are people who are responsible engineers and technologists. In the third part of my talk, I said I will give you all some tips as to how I can improve my language skills when I'm a student. Of course, at the end of this talk, sometime in the course of the day, I will share material with Dr. Ravi Kumar. I will share books on vocabulary. I will share whole books on developing speaking, reading, and writing. But apart from that, what are some of the simple ways in which I can, improve my language skills? One is, of course, you all have these smartphones with you. So learn to use them smartly. And beginning to learning, the first step to learn how to use your smartphone is to manage your time effectively with that phone. When you're, scrolling Instagram, people say these days most of us do what's called doom scrolling, which means it's scrolling with no intention of looking at anything but watching random reels. And these reels might give you that kind of momentary pleasure, but you're not learning anything from it. And as a learner, I think it's very important, not just for you all, but even for someone like me at 57 years of age, I feel the need to be able to keep learning every day, to be able to upgrade my skills, so I can be up to date with teachers who are much, much younger to me. So what you all should do is on Instagram, you have a page called IELTS Advantage. Now, this particular page, I will share the address with Dr. Ravi Kumar later. This particular page will give you lots of information on the IELTS test, but it is not the information that the person who's the instructor there gives is not specifically connected with the test alone. Now, these are pieces of information that we can take for our regular use of English so far as, and particularly for speaking. Yes. So you can use that page. And then you can go to Google, and then you have the British Council websites, learnenglish.com. So you can go there and practice. You have a lot of worksheets, so you can practice. Then Cambridge also has a particular website, has also a website like this. You can do reading passages, you can listen to podcasts, and you can respond. You can check to see whether whatever it is that you are saying, here and or here. In these instances, AI would come in very handy because it will give you the feedback so far as your performance is concerned. It will tell you whether you have been clear enough when you're speaking, whether your pronunciation was sufficiently clear so it could understand and then grade you. You have a lot of these English tests online, which can be taken without having to pay money for them. And you can take up these tests and do them to kind of rate yourself and see, where you stand and what you need to be able to do. See, learning a language is like learning to drive a car, a bicycle, or a two-wheeler, a motorbike or a scooter. The more we practice, the better we are at it. If we give up that practice, or if we give up using that skill, then quickly we will forget it. So I think for those of us, particularly those of us from mother tongue medium schools, and those of us who are very shy about using a language that is not our own, I think it's very important that you somehow make that effort to be able to open your mouths and speak, so you can listen to yourself speaking a language that you thought you never could speak. I'll give you an example. I was a good student of Hindi. I studied in a CBSE school. So till 8th, you had Hindi, and then you had a test. I got very good marks. My Hindi teacher wanted me to go ahead and study Hindi further. And so even today, I can read basic texts fairly well. I can understand very well. I can write Hindi, but I cannot speak the language. I find that every time there are these sentences that are running in my head, but I simply cannot get myself to speak because I never developed the confidence to be able to use that language. And I never felt the need to. You understand? So it's like the language is there stuck in my head. Now, that's what will happen also with those of us who feel that, okay, let me wait, and let me wait. And then that waiting becomes never ending. So somewhere in a classroom, because only when you are in college, you are in an environment where people don't judge you. People cannot judge you. You have your teachers who can definitely, kind of put people in places, those who are acting as bullies, as it were, people who are smiling at you when you begin to speak in English because perhaps your pronunciation is not what it should be. I mean, simply don't even think about these things. Just open your mouth and speak, putting your focus on the content. See, as an engineer, I'm saying English is important to you, but more important than the language, which is only a medium through which you can share your ideas, your information, your innovation. Yes, it is what you are doing as an engineer that is very important. So no matter what people, say about you, what people look at you, what is their reaction when you begin to speak, put your efforts on, put your focus on the content. What is it that you wish to say? I mean, it is generally believed that all engineers have brains that are wired to find solutions to problems that are there in society. So, I mean, that is how they are the people, they are the creators, they are the people who can innovate. So, which means that every time that there is a problem that is thrown at me, by way of how can speed breakers be constructed in such a way that they themselves don't lead to accidents? How can the city itself of Chennai, how can we maximize the housing for people who live in Chennai? How can we make, technology cheaper for the common person? Every time you come across a problem, you think about the solution and you focus on the solution, but don't keep practicing English to be able to share your innovation, right? So you need to be, so what I'm trying to say is don't worry about your accent. Don't so worry about your vocabulary. Technical vocabulary you must be thorough with, but general vocabulary you don't have to work too hard. Remember, you can also paraphrase. Okay, paraphrases when I use functional words, when I use simple words to get my ideas across. I have been an IELTS examiner for some time, and I know that people who get the higher score are people who have the ability to paraphrase. Not so much people who are getting big words, who are able to speak using very very big words. Not necessary. If you don't know those words, you don't have to struggle to learn them. You just paraphrase, use simple words, but put your focus on them. Yes. And for writing, whether it is speaking or writing, practice is important. You cannot escape that. I mean, I cannot escape that as a teacher. I find that if I don't write for a fairly long period of time, I'm not a good writer. I must write every day in order for me able to, become fluent in writing. If I have to be able to be an effective speaker in the language, then I must speak in class. When my physics teacher finishes his lecture, if I have a doubt, a genuine doubt, then I must be in a position to raise my hand and very politely ask the teacher. So, you must go and learn up what are called indirect questions. Indirect questions which we ask people. So go back and think about that register which I said. I have every right as a learner to be able to ask questions to my teacher, but how do I ask those questions? What should be the tone that I adopt? I cannot be asking questions like I'm challenging that person, but my questions must be indirect. I should begin by saying, but sir, don't you think, or sir, I have a doubt. Would it be possible for you to clear it for me? Then teachers are willing to be able to share that extra knowledge and information with you. Okay, so it's what the sum and substance of my talk today is, somehow I think learners are a little frightened of English. And what I'm trying to tell you is it's only a skill. It's a skill like cooking. It's a skill like gardening. It's a skill like driving. Okay, learning to drive if we are not very good at it. Whatever it is, it remains a skill. And a skill is something that I become better at if I practice it frequently. So the secret lies in being able to use that language whenever I feel the need and whenever there is an opportunity that presents itself to me. Or better as a learner to be able to grab the opportunities when I can actually use the language. So you can practice in small groups, in groups of 2, in small groups of 3, okay, in larger groups of 5, get together during your lunchtime. I'm sharing those books with you, complete those exercises. Those books also have answers, but don't be tempted to get the answers first. Complete the exercises and check. These are very basic level books that I will share with Dr. Ravi Kumar, but they should be quite sufficient for you all. And then, of course, if you're very interested, then you go on to the web and look for more complex exercises, look for advanced exercises. We live in the age of AI, but let's not make it seem that AI is the savior. Let's only use it as a tool. So, like I said, I have written something. Let me check it in Grammarly. Let me check. Let me not get ready-made answers from ChatGPT, because that way I'm kind of dumbing my brain. And the brain is a very intelligent organ. The more you don't give work, then it will simply gradually kind of shut down and say that, now that you've not given me anything that's challenging to me, I will be like this comfortable. Then we have nobody to blame. Okay. You all have gotten to a course a professional course where the field that you will be operating in is becoming extremely competitive, not just in India, but worldwide. So every day we must be thinking in terms of what is the change that is happening in me as a learner. They are small baby steps that you should be taking, but just tell yourselves every day, am I making that baby step? Am I taking that baby step? So together it will add up to something big when I come to the end of the 4th year. I will conclude my talk here. I wish each and every one of you present here today all the very best. I wish you all a success in everything that you all do. So you all must be very good engineers, contribute to nation building, contribute to the building of the state. Yes, think of very creative, cost-effective technological solutions to problems that continue to plague the Indian society. Yes, thank you and all the very best. And thanks for the opportunity. I think I can take some questions now. It's 11.
Yes, ma'am.
close to
Yes, ma'am.
11.
Sure. I'll read out the
Yes.
questions for you.
Yes.
And before that, thank you so much for such an amazing session. Your words have truly highlighted how effective communication empowers us to connect, collaborate, and succeed in every spheres of life. So with your permission, shall I read out the questions, ma'am? Yes. So the first question is, we depend entirely on technology for communication like WhatsApp or social media. Do you think this helps us or weaken us our real life communication skills?
See, there are two ways of looking at it. See, technology and things like WhatsApp, they are like double-edged swords. In one way, I would say WhatsApp has made children communicate more. I would say that some of the most shy students in my class communicate with me on WhatsApp. Earlier, you would kind of become so desperate as a teacher if some children in your class were not opening their mouths to speak. But then they are able to do it on WhatsApp. They begin by asking you questions on WhatsApp and then they speak. That is fine. That's perfectly okay. But the only precaution that we have to take is in WhatsApp, I find that you are effectively communicating in your mother tongues, but you're typing whatever you wish to say in English. Yes, so you can see Tamil being typed using English letters. So that's fine. That's fine in your friends group, in your family group. But then remember, register. If you belong to a group where your teacher is also part of the group, and today most teachers are part of their classroom groups, when you're communicating in groups like that, where you obviously know there is a teacher who's also part of the group, I think you have to resist the temptation to be able to do. See, all of us, those of us who are old, you must never forget that at one point in time, we were people as young as you. And I understand that as young adults, there is this need to be able to resist authority. Yes. So sometimes you could be doing this deliberately, you think, to anger your teachers or to say that I don't care. See, teachers are not mean people, right? So they might just kind of, say, please don't do this. But we will not judge you. But the industry will not be so kind. And once you get into a habit, yes, then it becomes part of you and you will display the same thing elsewhere. But in the industry, people can be more judgmental of you. And sometimes it could even cost you your job. So when do these things, communicate in a very natural way, use a lot of emojis, say what you want to say, but keep in mind, register. If I'm sending it to a group where there are only people my age, people who are friends, I know them well, they know me, fine. But when there is somebody, a person of authority in the group, then learn to change your communication.
Thank you, ma'am. With your permission, shall I read the next
Yes,
question, ma'am?
Yes, madam. Yes.
How important is listening as a part of effective communication for technical students?
See, listening is the basis. See, in ELT, we study something called motherese. Motherese is children begin first by listening to their mothers, and that's how they learn human language. Because every small act of theirs, the mother will decode and she will speak. So the child is listening to the mother speak. And by the time the child is 2 years old, the child becomes a sophisticated user of the language, right? Now, so, Madam, your question was?
How important is listening as a part of communication for
Yes.
technical students?
Yes. So listening is the basis. Now there are two types of listening that you must be conscious of. What's called passive listening and what's called active listening. Passive listening is I keep hearing these things. Like, you play music, all those of you who are wearing those, your iPods, I've never used them, but I see my daughter always doing it. Your whatever it is that you'll put on your headphones, all that you're doing, so you're constantly hearing, right? Now that could be passive listening. There is a song playing somewhere outside, you like the song, you smile to yourself because it's a song that you really like, it brings back some good memories to you, and then but you're going about doing your work. What is active listening? As learners, you have to learn how to actively listen. So what is active listening? When I am listening to somebody, your teachers in classroom would say, are you paying attention to me? Paying attention is, are you listening actively to me? Actively listening to somebody is when my brain is processing the information that person is giving me as and when the person is giving it to me. So as I'm hearing somebody speak, if my brain can process whatever it is that they are saying, only then am I listening actively to that person. And as a learner, if I have to ask questions that make sense in class, I must engage in what is called active listening. And as an engineer, it is a crucial skill for any person. And for engineers, there is the added responsibility of I'm listening keenly to what people are saying, because only then I'll be able to understand the problem that person is, elaborating, for me to be able to think of a possible solution.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, our next question is, do you think body language performs a significant role in communication? If yes, how do you keep upon that?
Madam, see, body language is very important. Some time ago, it was given too much importance than what was required. There were lots of books written on body language, but now they have toned it down. And I told you all at the beginning, research has shown that 75 to 80% of face-to-face communication is through facial expressions and our gestures. See, the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you dress, everything is an act of communication. Okay, so it is important to the extent that you are not threatening to the person who's listening to you in a face-to-face context. Yes, so this is very important when you're participating, particularly in a group discussion. Of course, in an interview, you'll be on your best behavior because you need that job. But in a group discussion, there are chances that you could tend to misbehave by, maybe looking at someone, by having an expression of a smirk when you're listening to somebody and you don't agree with what that person is saying. But I said all this will fall under lack of people skills. So it's not just good language. See, teachers will watch learners and they'll know that they are misbehaving in class, but they'll give them a long rope to keep doing that. And then one day they will catch them and say that these are things you shouldn't be doing. See, as an engineer, you shouldn't be doing it because it shows lack of professionalism. When you say you are a professional, it comes with a certain responsibility. And what is that responsibility? How am I presenting myself to the other person? Do I come across as a responsible engineer? Yes, for that, body language is, do I look like I'm interested in what you're saying? That's very important in a group discussion. Am I listening keenly to what you're saying? Yes, or am I just acting like, oh, what you're saying doesn't make sense to me or it doesn't matter to me? So no rolling of eyes, no looking up, no making it seem that, you don't understand. All of these things are things that please give up. Do it. Don't even do it in the canteen when you are with your group of friends, because these are very damaging, behavioral patterns that can be damaging to other people. And sometimes I think people who do are people who suffer from a lot of insecurity. If only you're very unsure and very insecure about yourself, will you think in terms of dominating another person? You see, but if you're quite content with the person that you are, then you would also engage with another person with a lot of self-respect. Yes.
And we have the last question, ma'am. Hope you're ready for answering that.
Yes,
Um,
madam.
Can you give me a good strategy for using context clues for guess the meaning of a word or a sentence?
See, this is very important in reading. I'll tell you the basis of good communication is reading. Don't ever give up on your reading. See, one thing is, I mean, don't say that this is an age related problem. I wouldn't blame the smartphone for anything. I would only blame it for the fact that it has snatched away our time to be able to do things that can help in us growing as individuals. There's no problem with you flicking your Instagram pages, watching YouTube shorts, but always ask yourself the question at the end of 4 hours, now, what have I learned from this? If you wish to join the, civil services, crack your UPSC exams, crack your GATE exams, write good essays, clear the vocabulary part as part of your GRE, any of those competitive examinations, reading would form the basis of your success. That you cannot deny. And don't tell me that I'm saying this because I'm an old person. I learned this pretty much young in life, and I'm happy I grew up in a time when I didn't have a gadget that took away my time. I managed my time. Now my phone manages my time, which sometimes I feel very sorry for young people like you, because you have become slaves to something rather than being the masters of it. So what you all should do is, if I devote myself to reading, then I develop the ability to to quickly identify the contextual meaning of a word. But if you're looking at it specifically from the point of view of how do I crack a reading comprehension passage, now there are some words that you will come across. Maybe words depending upon the extent of reading that you have done. Sometimes even simple words can seem difficult for you to understand. So then the first time I come across the word, of course, my brain is registering only the spelling of that word, because obviously I don't know the meaning. But I'm not going to stop that from me not continuing with that passage. Yes, I will read. And then what I will do is I will get the overall meaning of that particular short paragraph or that sentence. I'm not going to be worried about that one word, which I think is preventing me from understanding. Yes. So don't ever reach out to a dictionary. Of course, you all will not think in terms. I don't think many of you will have even paper dictionaries, but you will have your dictionary in your phone. Don't rush in to check the meaning of a word, because all words will take on new meanings depending upon the context in which they are used. All words will carry two meanings. One is what is called its referential meaning, and one is what is called the contextual. Referential is the list of meanings that are there listed in the dictionary. Contextual is the meaning that the speaker or the writer has assigned to that word, depending upon the context. Now, if I look at a sentence, so the first time my brain will register the spelling. The second time I come across the same word in a different passage, and my brain can immediately identify. The second time, it will not be such a difficult task for me to be able to, fairly guess the meaning of the word. In a reading passage, if you come across difficult words, don't give up. Okay. One is to underline that word and then read the entire passage. Then when you start doing your close reading again, when you come to that word, stop there, underline the word, read that sentence 2 or 3 times again, okay, to yourself. If you want to, a little loud, read it to yourself. And then if you have understood the words that come before and after it, you take it from me, you'll be able to fairly guess accurately the meaning of a particular word. But all of this you can do only if you set aside and do serious reading for 30 to 40 minutes. Don't give up on reading newspapers. Read the Hindu every day. It is difficult, but read it. You will have some people who write columns there every Sunday, right? There will be people who will write columns. They will write every Sunday. Read them. Some of them are wonderful to read. Some of them can be so funny in whatever it is, the way they are putting their information across. There is a person called D. Balasubramaniam who writes about speaking about science in the Sunday, the Hindu. He writes about what is the latest that's happening in the field of medicine, the field of technology, and he makes it simple and easy for us to be able to understand. So never give up reading the newspaper. This is a conscious effort you have to make. If you're a person who has not read, who has not been a reader, then from now on, you have to start reading. For me to be able to ask questions, for me to be able to participate in interviews, to me be able to make effective presentations, for me to be able to give winning interviews, I need to be able to read. Basic thing. The first basic thing I need to do is to read. If I don't read, I'm committing what's called professional suicide. And I should never be making that mistake. One of my qualifications as a learner and as a professional is to read. Yes, when I read, my brain is beginning to think about what I've read. That's how I get views, I get ideas, I have what is called critical thinking. Yes, all of it comes to me only with reading.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for patiently answering our questions.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gratitude is the fairest blossom which brings from the soul. May I now invite Mr. M. Ravi Kumar, Assistant Professor in English, Department of Science and Humanities, to deliver the word of thanks. Please, sir.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. First of all, I would like to thank our management, who is very magnanimous, supporting in every aspect, conducting this program like this. Next, I would like to thank our madam, Dr. Srimati Venkata Lakshmi ma'am, Professor, Head of the Department of English, Anna University, Chennai, for accepting our invitation and grace the occasion. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing the great knowledge. Definitely, we will share all your expertise to our students and faculties also. I would like to thank our principal and HOD sir for having delivered the felicitation address and welcome address. Next, my thanks goes to all the faculty for working sincerely, tirelessly for the great success of this first year induction program and the technical team also. Students and parents are the great stakeholders in our college. So I would like to extend a very, very sincere gratitude to all my parents and students for supporting in all of our aspects for this conduction program. Thank you very much, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Can I leave?
Yes, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dinesh sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir.
Recording stop பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, sir.
On announcement, students are requested to join in the Zoom link for the next session. We request the students to join in the Zoom link for the next session. Students, kindly join in the Zoom link for your next session.
Sorry, madam. Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
Sir, live stream stop பண்றோம் sir.
ஆமா, ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க சார். ஸ்டாப் பண்ணுங்க.